And we are live, ladies.
Hey.
Ladies, we are live and thriving. I love it. So, hello, everyone. Beautiful people out there. Thank you for joining us, or those that will join in on the replay. My name is Ashley Jackson. I am the owner of Timeless Dream Events, where we provide events for the terminally and chronically ill and their loved ones, and also caregiver advocate. I am here with my beautiful sister, Miriam Baldwin. Miriam, would you like to speak?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are back. My name is Miriam Baldwin. I am all the way from the Netherlands, and together with my sister from another Mr. Ashley Jackson. And I'm the owner and founder of Caregiver 2.0. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. And the lovely Dr. Sarah. I love saying your name. Okay. Dr. Sarah, thank you for joining us. She is an amazing writing coach, editor, and author. And Miriam and I wanted to have her on today to speak to, everyone, specifically caregivers, but because that's where Miriam and I's hearts are, but to anyone that is willing and able to listen, because writing has become such a great form of therapy and release for me. But doctor in the building.
I didn't even call for a doctor.
Introduce yourself.
It's such a pleasure to be here. I am Dr. Sarah Jefferis. I'm coming in from Ithaca, New York, and I am a writer, a poet, an editor, a writing coach, and a speaker. And I'm so excited to be here and to be talking to you about your writing and the ways in which writing can really help us heal and move through even parts of last year that we might still be carrying, or parts of our childhood that by now our bags we might do well to put down. So thank you so much for having me on the show.
Wow, thank you. That reminded me of something that Miriam always says about putting up the super shiro cape. So since Sarah, you mentioned that, Miriam, and now that I bring that up, would you like to, correlate the two? Like, how does putting up that super shiro cape and writing and journaling help you?
Yeah, I always mention this in my in our interview. Sorry. There was a time when I was the caregiver, the cook, the driver, the cleaner, everything, taking care of my husband. And I had my superhero cape on because superheroes, they can do anything. They don't need help. They are there to save the world. And in my case, my husband. And until I burnt out, until I had a question from a social worker and they discovered that I burnt out. And I had to figure out what worked for me, how I could get out of that dark place, that nasty place. And I started journaling. So when I wake up in the morning, I pray, I meditate, I take a shower. And then while I'm enjoying my breakfast, this is my journaling book. It's in Dutch and it means treat me like a lady. So this is my morning habit. Every morning, 3 to 5 minutes, whatever comes to my mind. And I am blown away by all the ideas I get from these 3 to 5 minutes in the morning. So as a caregiver, I would really recommend journaling. And my question is, do you have other recommendations for caregivers or non-caregivers? Anyone?
Yeah, no, that's a great
journaling or writing.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Joan Didion said this amazing thing. She said, I write to find out what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, what I see, what it means, what I want, and what I fear. So I write to figure out what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, what I see, what it means, what I want, and what I fear. And in the moments of writing, whether it's in the morning for 3 minutes or in the afternoon at noon or in the evening before you're going to bed, those moments really allow us to get out what it is that we want, but also to get out what it is that we fear. And I was hoping that we could actually start with a writing exercise. If you guys are game for that. Yes? Yes? Okay.
Pen and paper.
The writing exercise also comes from Julia Cameron, right? Who is the woman who came up with morning pages. And I just wanted to tell you also one thing she said before we jump into it. And she says writing is medicine. It is an appropriate antidote to injury. It is an appropriate companion for any difficult change. And I love that idea because I was thinking about caregivers, even myself as one who's taking care of 2 girls on my own, that it's nice to have a companion when you feel like you're all alone. It's nice to have a companion when you feel like there's all these things that are changing, whether that's 20 new doctor's appointments or the world of COVID or the world of politics or the world of your loved one when they suddenly can't do something that they could do 5 days ago or last week, right? I love the idea that writing serves as medicine for the caregiver when they feel as if they might be alone. So keeping that in mind, I was hoping that we could start with a writing exercise that begins like this. And so in these writing exercises, it's really important for those of you all who are listening to have a pencil and paper, because what we're thinking about moves to our hand versus typing. Like it moves down the Chinese meridian through the blood, out our fingers, versus typing, which is kind of an editing space. So I'm going to ask the listeners, or those of you who are watching it on replay, to make sure you have paper and pen or paper and pencil. And the idea is we're just going to write for 3 to 5 minutes. And we will come back in a few minutes after that. And the writing exercise for this moment is what I am most afraid of is, and the second part of that is what I hope for, because hope and fear are close. So what I am most afraid of and what I hope for. And I just want to say, caregivers, that can be about you. Like I am most afraid of not being able to take care of my loved one, or it can be about the loved one. Doesn't matter. What I'm most afraid of and what I hope for. So it's 12:08 in New York time. I have no idea what time it is in the Netherlands. I'm sure it's probably cocktail time.
6:08.
6:08. And so for those of you, whether it's 12:08 or 6:08 or some number in between, let's take 3 minutes right now and write everything that occurs to you of what you're most afraid of and what you hope for. And Ashley, if you can just bring us back after 3 or 4 minutes, that would be great.
I will do that.
Thank you.
And because we did have one question about this is for anybody listening, anybody on the replay that is not even a caregiver, please participate in the writing exercise, in the conversation. This is open to anybody and everybody. Miriam and I's heart are, we're caregivers through and through, and that's our heart, but we want to help anybody and everybody. Writing is a universal healer, so please participate if you can and willing.
I love this question. I love this exercise. Oh, juicy.
All right, so it's been 4 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the prompt. That was pretty powerful.
Well, I like to start right out the gate. I
know. Like, bam. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. So do you guys want to share either of those?
Ashley can go first.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, I see someone is asking in chat, is this only for caregivers?
Yeah, and
no,
that's why I answered. That's why I mentioned that. And then someone else just said, oh my goodness. Someone just said, great exercise. I think I need 20 more minutes of thoughts. And then this one's just too powerful to not share. I had my breakthrough at 3.5 minutes. So thanks for extra time. Woo!
I love that.
Thank you for sharing.
So if people want to put in
chat
what they wrote, like that would be totally fine. If people in chat would like to share.
If you want to post, and for the person that said, I'm sorry, I can't see your name, but for the person that said they needed 20 more minutes, that's fine. I know Miriam takes 3 to 5 minutes each day to jot down her thoughts that come to mind. I'm the opposite. I need 20 to 30 minutes because there's so much that goes on up here, and I think I need the extra time to get it laid out as well. So totally take your time. Lisa, I managed to get some thoughts down. Thank you for sharing. As far as me, I just realized that I kind of have, it's weird. So what I am most afraid of, is not, and this totally goes back to my childhood and early adulthood. I am most afraid of not leaving behind a powerful legacy, because I had a parent that passed that had such a huge legacy, left behind a huge legacy. I'm afraid to not leave behind one. But like I told my mom this morning, and Mama J's on. Hey, Mama J. I'm also afraid of being great. So on one hand, I am afraid and fearful of not leaving a legacy, Ashley Jackson's legacy, a powerful one. But at the same time, I'm also afraid of what happens if I am great.
Mm-hmm.
So my hope, which has spun into this huge overflowing cup, because I've ridden my life for the last 10 years off of hope and faith. My hope is that I can touch the masses, but I hope I can start with one. If I can just help one person, that's my huge hope in life.
That was beautiful.
You see, that's why we are sisters, Ashley. I'm getting goosebumps. I am getting goosebumps. You know what I'm most afraid of? That I can't reach enough people to tell my story and help them.
Mm.
And what I hope for, I'm getting goosebumps. What I hope for is that I, first of all, will spend precious time with my loved ones, that I will meet my sister from another Mr. Belly to Belly someday, and share our story with anybody, so many people, and help them, especially caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hope for.
Thank you for sharing that. And Leslie said also, I'm afraid of being consequential. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid of being forgotten in that sense, or afraid of not reaching enough people. Mine is similar. I wrote about how I'm afraid that time will end before I have accomplished the things that I would like to have done. Right? So because I think of time in like 24 blocks, I'm like, well, I have this for this 24 block, and this for the next 24 block, and this for the next 24 block. But if I only get 2 of those, right? And so I am afraid that time will end before I have accomplished all of the things I would like to do, and have reached the people that I would like to reach. Also, I hope for that every person that I meet, that they leave feeling closer to the writer within, that they leave the conversation with me hearing their own sentences, hearing their wisdom, hearing the creator, the writer, the wise being that lives inside them within. So that every person, even if they think I'm not a writer, I'm not very creative, they suddenly have a closer awareness to language, to their sentences, and to the idea that words are power. So really trusting that interior power and guide inside. Thank you, Lisa, for loving this exercise.
Love this exercise. And Mama J, it says, you ladies have prepared yourself for such a time as this.
Aww. That's beautiful.
See, I was supposed to come on here and start crying.
Yes,
Y'all
we
don't have to. You know, writing is so healing, and I never thought I would write as much as I do. And all the emotions, it's like it's become therapy to me, really. So yeah, I love it. You get to tell your own story, and then you decide if you want to share it or keep it for yourself. I mean, yeah.
I'm going to nerd out for a minute and tell you that there's a new study in science called Neuroimmunology, which is a field that links the expressive writing exercises that we're doing and the function of the immune system. So literally, there have been studies going on. It's very new from the 80s. There was one in Kansas where women with breast cancer experienced fewer symptoms and went for fewer appointments when they consciously committed to a writing practice. So it does not cure cancer, but it does, in these studies, show that it lessens the symptoms and lessens the anxiety of returning to another doctor's appointment. There was this other guy named James Pendelbaker and Joshua Smith in 1986, and they did studies with asthma patients. And they saw that the immune function systems in patients with asthma and arthritis increased the more they practiced reflective writing. So it is that therapy, but it also is like in the blood, right? Like it's in the body, and it calms the nervous system, right? And it calms our anxiety, and it calms our sense of worry, right? So there is real medicine in the writing. There is real healing, I believe. And I'm so excited about this psycho-neuro-immunology practice that's happening from the 1980s.
That would be really awesome to insert somehow into the hospitals.
Yes.
You know, specifically since you brought up breast cancer, like that would have been awesome to know or have that knowledge when I was going through the fight with my husband. You know, if I would have known to write more, I may have, you know, for the clarity of mind and just the healing while going through the battle would have been so helpful. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. There are doctors in Syracuse, New York, which is like an hour. Oh, it's called psycho-neuro-immunology. So it's PSY, the person who's asking, a Facebook user.
Yes.
PSY, psycho, so PSY-CHO, neuro, Neuro, immunology. And you can look up James Pendenbaker or Joshua Smith. They're sort of the two founders. So psychoneuroimmunology. So how does our immune system change when we activate the brain in the reflective writing process? Which is why I said it's so important to do it by hand, right? Versus typing. Because when we're doing it by hand, we can trust the sentence after sentence. When we type, and those of you on screen may love typing, and I'm not saying don't ever type, but sometimes we read while we're typing, and that activates the editor or the critic. And for some of us, that will shut us down. So sometimes it's much easier to have the ability of just being with the paper and the pen and trusting one sentence after the other. Are you guys ready to do another writing exercise?
I mean, let's go. What you got next?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. So lately I've been thinking, you know, because I'm studying to be a yoga teacher, and there's this gorgeous book called Yamas and Niyamas, which are sort of the ethical thinkings and philosophy behind yoga practice. And one of them that we spend a lot of time thinking about is something called satya, or truthfulness, right? And truth demands integrity to life and to our own self. And I think it's really also important to think when we are real rather than nice, when we choose self-expression over self-indulgence, when we choose growth over a need to belong, when we choose fluidity over rigidity, I'm just giving you from the text, we can begin to understand the deeper notion of truthfulness. And I think this is really important for caregivers, because it is amazing how much we can lie to ourselves. It is amazing how much we don't want to be in truthfulness. It is amazing how we want to please everyone around us and then are not real, right? At the cost of ourselves, right? Because being real asks us to live from a place where there is nothing to defend and nothing to manage. And that's hard as a caregiver, right? Real is not always pleasant, right? And when we are trying to take care of someone and on the phone with the doctor, or trying to take care of two girls in my own life and running a business and doing all of the things, we think we also have to be pleasant. But I'm going to opt for real because it's more trustworthy. So the writing exercise is this. What might your life look like if you were willing to contact truthfulness in every moment? So what might your life look like if you were willing to contact truthfulness in every moment? And I just want to say, like, we don't necessarily then have to speak that truthfulness. We don't want to hurt someone with that truthfulness, but could we contact it on the inside, right? Could we contact it on the inside? Because truth rarely seems to ask the easier choice of us. Right?
Ooh.
Whew. So what might your life look like if you were willing to contact truthfulness in every moment? Yes.
Do we get 30 minutes for this one? 3 minutes is not enough.
I was like, well, this might take me until next week.
If it would help you break it down, you could pick a moment when you felt like you were not truthful to yourself or to the other person, and write about that moment as if you could be truthful. So that's another way of saying it, right? So I'm going to pick a moment in which I chose to lie. No one wants to say they lie, but we all do, right? Whether we're lying to ourselves or we're lying to someone else. We have all at some point in our lives told at least one lie, right? The scary thing is when we begin to believe it, because that limits our belief and our potential. So if we could at least contact, like knock on truthfulness, like, hello, truthfulness, are you over there? Could we just touch it in one moment when we were not truthful?
Okay. I'll hold my thought until.
Leslie says, I would have the courage to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that was my problem.
Someone asked, Sarah, I think this is something you said. Can you say this again? Truth rarely asks us to take the.
I believe I said easy route. Truth rarely seems to ask the easier choice of us. Okay. So if truth rarely seems to ask the easier choice, then lying is easier. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You knew I was going to go for the hard things, right, ladies?
I know. Of course. All right. So I'll put the writing.
Why don't we do 5? Do you want to do 5 minutes this time?
It's up to y'all. Whatever time you have allotted, I'm here for it all.
Let's do 5. So again, just to repeat for those listening, you can do what might your life look like if you're willing to contact truthfulness in every moment. And again, of course, that comes from the yamas and niyamas. The other might be, I'm going to pick a moment in which I chose to lie. Can I return to that moment and contact truthfulness?
I think it's been about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
28, I think we started.
Yeah.
All right. Again, I'm sorry because I can't see who this is that's saying this, but someone did mention denial's easier.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so so true. Before I get into what I wrote, I do want to acknowledge like what a lot of us caregivers go through, and I think I can broadly say this is, and I know Maren will back me up, but when people ask a caregiver, how are you? Or if they even get asked, how are you? Or can I do anything for you? And the caregiver say, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't need anything. I'm good. Hey, everyone out there listening, they're lying to you. The caregiver needs help. That's the red flag. Warning. They're about to overheat when they say, oh no, everything's fine. They're not.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, and I'm sure Miriam can back me up on that one. That's one of the biggest lies caregivers will tell their loved ones because they don't want their loved ones and family, friends to worry about them or be a burden to anybody. But caregivers need care too. And you have to own that and be okay with it. It's okay.
Absolutely, Ashley. Absolutely. And this is something I wrote as well. I lied so many times. I lost count. How are you doing? Do you need me to drive you to the hospital? Oh, no, I got it. No, I didn't. I wish I started asking for questions earlier, accepting help earlier. It would have prevented me from burning out. Setting boundaries. I actually said, yeah, yes, let me help you. And I should have said, no, I can't help you now. I wish I started doing that earlier. But now I'm able to say, no, I can't help you now. but I can help you later. Setting
Mm.
boundaries.
Boundaries are a huge, huge thing. And that's pretty much what I wrote about. If what was the question? And I'm going to get to your comment here because that's pretty powerful too. But okay, what might your life look like if you're willing to contact truthfulness in every moment? I wrote that I would be able to move more boldly about my decisions and not apologizing for them. Because during my caregiver journey, when I would make a decision that fit for me and my husband, I would get questioned. And then I would succumb to those questions. Oh, they're questioning me. So maybe I'm not thinking properly. Maybe this isn't the right way to go. So if I was wanting to contact my truthfulness in every moment, I would have said, no, this is the decision I have made. And this is where we're going with it.
Yeah.
Because it's what's best for me and my husband who have to live with the decisions, right? But yeah, I did want to pull this comment up from one of our caregiver. I finally pulled back on the extent of my caregiving and things did not fall apart. Imagine that. See, my friend was not upset or even phased, and I did not have to find or arrange the solution. But I struggled for years to do this. But I'm not sure who said this, but don't you feel like a lighter or, like a huge weight has lifted off your shoulders? And I'm sure your friend is doing just fine. Hopefully, they are doing just fine. But you made that decision for yourself, and that's okay. We are allowed to make those type of hard decisions for ourselves. It's totally fine.
That's a great comment. I'm really, I love that person was willing to share that.
And Leslie as well. Miriam,
Yes.
I've been learning about this graceful no from you. Oh,
Yes.
yay!
I wrote, I would rest more.
Ooh.
I also wrote, and I was like, oh, because the writing self will tell you the truth. My I'm gonna do it. I'm super mama. I'm good. I got the business. I got the girls. Did I have milk? I don't care. I'm good. My was like, oh, I'm actually gonna rest more. I also wrote, I would trust more. I would trust the universe. I would trust God. I would trust more if I was willing to contact truthfulness. Right? One of my really good friends said that sometimes our wounds may be the lies of the caregiver who took care of us. That our wounds,
say that again?
Yeah, that our wounds, my friend Stacy said it, our wounds may be the lies from our childhood caregiver. That the things that we are wounded with may have come from our caregiver, and it may be from their lies. So as an example, right? My mama always, my mom did the best she could, right? She's blind in one eye. She struggles with a lot of things. She did the best she could. But she believed that you must do in order to be loved. Love comes from doing. Love does not come from not doing, right? So if I need to rest more, it's probably because I'm a little bit thinking that I need to keep doing in order to be loved, right? Does that make sense, Miriam and Ashley? That our wounds may be
It does.
the lies that our caregivers believed. So then I was thinking, oh my God, when this occurred to me, I was like, oh my God, what lies do I believe so that I can stop wounding my girls?
Ooh.
Okay. I was like, I was gonna swear, Ashley. I was gonna say, dang, I need to work on that. Right? Because I don't want to wound them. They've had enough. They've buried a parent. They've had enough. I don't want to wound them. So whatever lies I think I'm telling, even if it's small about time, or whatever lies I'm believing, I need to work on them for me as a caregiver, right? Even Gandhi said his life was an experiment with truth. Gandhi. So if Gandhi is like, I'm experimenting with truth, he said that in his autobiography, we can try on this experiment with truth so that we trust, so that we live bigger, so that we love more, and in my case, so that I rest more.
I love this. This was so powerful. It's still landing.
I mean, I can't even get the quote out fast enough.
Oh, I can say it again. Do you want me to say it again? It's from my friend Stacy, and she said that our wounds may be the lies of our caregivers. Not intentional, right? Like, my mom didn't intentionally.
Sure.
But it made me think, what are the lies that I have believed and enacted?
Wow.
That I need to unravel and contact truthfulness.
And we just had another comment come through, and I just want to share because it's very powerful. And thank you for being so open and vulnerable, because writing can do that. It opens up things. But my dad is replicating his mother's behavior. His wounds from that and my parents' painful divorce are coming up hard and fast. It is so challenging not to take that on and ensure I don't continue that cycle when I reach that age. That is so powerful. Thank you for sharing and being open. Yeah, I mean that, Sarah and Miriam in our talks, you guys know that I carry things from my early adulthood with grief and loss. And now, as I progress in my adulthood, it sticks with you. And it's a wound. It wasn't my dad's fault. He didn't ask to take his last breath when I was 25, but that's a wound that I forever will carry. But I don't want to allow that to replicate or, cause any harm in the future. So I try to use that pain for good.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah. Sarah, I do have another question regarding reflective writing. Some of our listeners and viewers might be thinking, what is the purpose of reflective writing?
That's a great question. Yeah. And I think sometimes we ask that question because people are like, oh, that's the wound, that's the sorrow. I'm not interested in touching it. I'm not interested in going back to this moment or that moment. Yeah. Right. And if I do write about it, what if I can't leave it again? Right? Like, what if I get in that moment again and I write so well about it, I feel 10, or in my case, I feel 14, or I feel 12, right? And so that's definitely a question that's related to the purpose. Will I injure myself if I am in reflective writing? Right. And one of the purposes actually with reflective writing is not just to write down what might have occurred, what happened, what's the story, but also to write it, and I'll just offer this one as a second person point of view, as a letter to your friend, offering compassion, offering sensitivity, offering empathy, as if they had the same experience. And I can give an example of that. But to answer your question, so one of the purposes, I would argue, is literally to lower our blood pressure. Another purpose is to calm our nervous system. Another purpose might be to put down the suitcases full of expectations and tasks and resentments and ghosts that we keep carrying from 2019 and 2020 into now, right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I want new things in my hands. but somehow I still think I need to hold on to this. So this is how I let go. Okay, maybe. Okay, right? I'm never like, oh yeah, I let go. And I do yoga almost every day. Okay. So like maybe I need to do it twice a day, but like letting go is not easy. But part of the process of reflective writing, part of the purpose is to let go so that more blessings can come. Another one of my friends said, a bird can't hold, wait, what did she say? She said, a bird can't fly if she's holding on to the branch. A bird can't fly if she's holding on to the branch. And I was like, I don't understand. Maybe the bird likes the branch. And she was like, whatever you're holding on to is interrupting with where you need to go. Whatever spot that you're grasping and staying in is slowing you down from what you might arrive at. So she said to me, Sarah, let the damn branch go. And I was like, but I like this branch. I like this branch. And she's like, okay, but there might be a whole tree over there. And she knows I love palm trees. She's like, and I'm sure it's a palm tree where it's warm, but you don't get to go because you like this oak branch over here. And I was like, I don't like it so much anymore.
It's scary though. It's scary to let go of the branch.
It is.
Because you don't know what is there. And that goes back to the first writing prompt for me. Like letting go seems so scary, but what happens if you do let go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens?
Like we are afraid to get out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to see possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep holding on, I can say that now, but years back, I was exactly thinking, no, I'll stick here. But getting out of your comfort zone might open other possibilities for you and opportunities.
Mm-hmm. This is a great segue to the last writing exercise. But I wanted to just look at this. There are cycles in our lives that it is up to us to break so that it is not passed down to the next generation. Yes.
Yes, Mama J.
And my mom, I know why she said that. Thank you, Mama J. My dad was huge on this. Mm-hmm. He didn't want the burdens of his father or his father's father to be on our shoulders. His generation, his new generation that him and my mom had. He didn't want my brother and I to suffer from decisions from the past. So thank you for bringing that up, Mom. Definitely. And as the Jackson family is going to be having a new generation come in July by my cousin, not me, my cousin. Yeah, like, oh my God. No, my cousin, and she is working hard on these things too, making sure that people before her is not going to be passed down, because we want to do better. We have to do better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these are the things that writing flows to. It's so interesting how we even get to this point, but that's how writing is.
Yeah. So here's the next one. What are 2 things you need to let go of and what would your life look like then?
Mm-hmm.
What are 2 things you need to let go of? What would your life look like then? I think we only have like 3 minutes. I'm not sure how long we're talking because I could talk to y'all till like, hours.
No, I don't want to put a time limit on it. Okay. So please, like I have that afternoon open. Let's do this right.
Okay. So why don't we do like 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
Should we start to come back?
Is it already 5 minutes?
It was 4.
4.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll give you.
No.
It's
I'm done.
Ashley, do you want to go first, or does someone else who's watching want to add anything?
yeah. Let's see if
Type in chat.
Michelle, Lisa, Mama J, Leslie, anybody want to share? Because I'm like Sarah, I can talk your ears off. It's been amazing to see what reflective writing and journaling, where it can bring you, like all the emotions, like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah,
it really is. And I think excuse me, like the psychoneurology that you mentioned, I think it I think that's awesome. So Lisa, good. She said she wants to get rid of fear and procrastination. I am the queen of procrastination. I hear you, Lisa. I hear you. Michelle, if I finally do some of the work at my house, I can heal multiple wounds. Losing a past business and the trauma of my mom's year with cancer and death. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Michelle, you've been very open today. Very deep and open. Yeah.
And I would just to say to Michelle, like, I did not have, a mom's year with cancer and death, but I will say that in May, I'm sort of returning to a house in that sense to heal multiple wounds. And I don't know if this will help you at all, but I set up like multiple friends afterwards as like gifts or like anchors after I go backwards. So because for me, when we go backwards to heal on the page, or backwards literally to the house, or backwards literally in time to see someone we haven't seen. So for me, I'm going to see my father for the first time after 30 years. I have set up friends to meet up as well afterwards to help me in that healing, but also to remind me of who I am, right? To be able to say, I am both an adult and, a child at the same time, but to remember my adult self. So I totally encourage you to go back to work at your house, even if it's a literal house or a metaphorical house, but also to make sure that you have like tea or a bathtub or whatever you love to do for hours afterwards, each time you go. Yeah.
Wonderful. And that was Michelle's response to what you were saying.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I would like to get rid of trying to do everything perfect. And
perfection.
I'm raising a foot too, just so you know.
Yeah, and overthinking.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, your sisters. I know. Overthinking. Sometimes I'm like, stop it.
It's like you want to just turn something off.
Yeah. Turn the button, Michelle says, I have all 4 limbs up on the perfectionist part. I am not alone.
Yeah, and then Lisa said, perfection isn't real, you know what?
Yeah.
Yes. It's, oh my goodness. If I waited for everything to be perfect, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So you get me flaws and all, goofy and all. This is it. This is me. Because if I waited for everything to be perfect before I made a move, it just wouldn't happen. Nothing would.
Ashley, that's one of the biggest things that you've taught me. Flaws and all.
Really?
Yeah, that flaws and all are okay. Because I wasn't like that. So I really, really appreciate that. Your willingness to come, flaws and all, like your willingness to come, flaws and all, means that I can come, flaws and all. Right?
I mean, you'll surround yourself with a tribe of people, sisters, that will accept you, flaws and all. I mean, is part of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've just had to learn that, like, not everybody's going to be for me, or not everybody's going to like me.
Right.
But that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah, Miriam and I talk about this often, you know, with our respective businesses. Like, we want to help and do what we can, but not everybody's going to accept that or hear it, feel it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will find those that we need to be with, need to be for. So,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, Mama J said, procrastinating and doubting myself. And I am such a personal cheerleader, Mama. You should never doubt yourself at all. You're an amazing woman, coming up on 10 years of having lost your forever, and how you take it with style and grace. I'll never understand. But Mama J, you should never doubt yourself. You are a phenomenal woman, and I give you your roses and your crown as often as I can.
Yes, Mama J, you deserve it. And you're a wonderful mom. I know, I can tell from all the great stories I hear from my sister. You are you're one in a million. That's for sure. Indeed. So, you know, and I'm getting goosebumps. Yesterday, it was 10 years that my mom went to heaven. And all of my, together with my siblings and the rest of the family, I shared a picture with Ashley. We burned a candle and put a glass of water on the table. That's our tradition. Why do we put water? Nobody can survive without water. And the candle is for the light. She shouldn't be in the darkness. We are not in the darkness, and we don't want her to be in the darkness as well. So, you know, mothers, Mama J, you're one in a million.
Yeah, thank you. And Lisa made another comment that's so true. Perfection and procrastination are really secret lovers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we procrastinate because we want it to be perfect, right? Because we think perfection, which is actually an illusion, is a truth. So the lie of perfection is something we hang on all the time. And we're like, if I can just get it perfect, if I can just get it perfect, if I can make it perfect. And that's a lie, that somehow we have told ourselves that there is something that is perfect that we can achieve, right?
Yes.
I wrote two things. One, sorry, Miriam, go ahead.
No, I was reading a comment. One thing that worked for me is realizing that baby steps count too. Instead of procrastinating, I take a small baby step. It adds up over time.
I want to remember this. Yeah. Can this account for doing the dishes as well?
Yeah.
Because I don't like doing those. So maybe one dish at a time. That's a baby step, Mitchell. Help me out. Help me out.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you for that, though. Miriam says that quite often.
Yeah.
Just do a baby step and it will add up over time. So yeah, I love that. Thank you. Sarah, let us know what you wrote down. I'm interested.
I wrote that I want to let go of the need to control the outcome. So that's if I put enough enough intelligence and enough science and enough poetry and enough beauty and enough art and enough light, the outcome will be, right? So to let go of the control of the outcome, right? Because I trust the process in writing, and I trust the process when I work with clients. I'm so grateful to work with clients on their writing journeys, whether it's a poem or an essay or a story or a book. I'm so grateful to coach people to their next sentence. But really, that to let go of needing to control the outcome. Because I think surprises can come up and possibilities can arrive when we stop trying to make the outcome the only outcome. I've been thinking that outcomes are plural lately. The other is going to kill me, which as soon as I wrote down, I was like, oh, why? Even I've done this exercise like 20 times and still each time it kills me. And that's the need to prove, I would like to let go of the need to prove myself worthy of love.
Ooh.
So, and I thought I already let go of that, but apparently the pen knows more than I do. So,
Wow.
The need to prove myself worthy of love, to let go of that. And what would my life look like then? Well, I think I would be more relaxed. I definitely think more surprises and possibilities might arrive with the outcomes being plural. And I think I would allow other people to share their gifts with me, right? Rather than trying to prove that I'm worthy of love. That's an attachment thing that I have to work on. So that's my honesty for the day.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's great. The pen took me someplace where I wasn't sure. I thought I had worked mine out. But
and the pen was like,
yeah, no, you still got some more. You still got some more, girl. You got work through. But mine was my ego and resentment. And I think the two I wrote down, I believe these two actually come from one thing, and that is comparison. I often find myself comparing myself to others because I haven't been able to do all the things I wish I could have done in life, because of the loss of my father, because of almost losing my husband. I always look at and see, so this is where social media can get you in trouble too, but looking at all the things that family and friends have gotten to do over the years that at points in time in my life, I wasn't able to do. Despite all the things that I have been able to do, it's like sometimes my thoughts go back to, oh, well, remember Labor Day 2011? Remember what happened that day? Oh, remember March 28, 2017, when they said your fiance had this? You remember them times when you couldn't do this? Despite all the times I have been able to do things, I still get these thoughts. And I know it's still therapy that needs to be done, needs to be written even deeper at some point in time. But yeah, it got really kind of deep really fast.
And
You're right,
comparison
are hard.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're hard, but they're good, right? Like they're hard, but they're like they get to the truthfulness. And comparison, I think it was Ben Franklin said, is the thief of joy.
Yep.
And I think each of us have something we compare. So like whether you compare, it's like to someone's event planning or to someone's ability to take care of their husband or whatever, right? So because I know I will compare with like mamas. I'm like, wait, are they out mamaing me? And I'm like, wait a second, how is that even possible? How can they out mama? Right? Or I go, there's two of them, right? Like there's a mom and a dad, right? Or there's two moms or there's two dads. And then I go, there's only one of me. So really making peace with my own limitations, even in my gifts. But comparison, yeah, it's a sticky mess. Comparison. It's like
Yeah,
honey, right?
I
Like
got-
really pretty, but oh yeah, but it's still a little bit there.
Yeah.
But on the other
That's just-
hand,
yeah.
Ashley, do you know how many people we've touched now? I don't have an idea in numbers, but I'm pretty sure that we've already helped a lot of caregivers with what we started doing months ago.
Mhm.
So thank you for that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just being truth and honest. I mean, that's what you're going to get when you sign up with Ashley Jackson. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know sometimes my husband be like, "Oh my gosh, what's she doing now? What is she doing now?" But he knows that I, along with Miriam, we're on this mission to help caregivers, see their light and stay in their power.
That's what I feel. That's what I feel like you guys have given me.
Oh.
Michelle says
thank
you
you,
touched
Michelle.
me today.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
No, we
That's
appreciate
the thing. Miriam, you asked me about purpose
of
writing. I think it can give you back your power.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think writing can give you back your power. And when you're a caregiver, you're giving out a lot of power and energy to a lot of people. Right? And I think it gives you back that power.
That's powerful.
That's
and
really
why is it so important? Why is it so important to be reflective?
That's a great question. I think my first thought is because we live in community. So if I'm not being reflective on what I have done or said, or what choices I've made, I am impacting others and I might harm them. So because I want to live in peaceful community, I think it is important to be reflective. The second reason I think is because of growth. I don't know about you, but I've met a lot of 80-year-olds that still seem like they're 8 and they haven't had any personal growth. And not just 8 in their wounds, but like literally they seem young. And not young like youthful, but like they just haven't grown. You know, they haven't had personal growth. And so reflective for personal growth, emotional growth, spiritual growth, community. For me, it's so important because I need to go back to the divine. But that's me. Not everyone believes in the divine. But every time I write, I feel closer to my soul. Thank you, Leslie. Absolutely. Closer to my soul and closer to the creator. And I need that companion. As a single mama of 2 kids running a business, I need that companion.
Life and just life in general.
Yeah.
We need all the help we can get.
Yes.
And I also think it's important to have a mirror. And that's what it has been for me. Mirror.
Yeah.
And it really helped me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. You're welcome, Lisa.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. I know we've gone over a little over an hour, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time, but Sarah, I know you have a workshop coming up this weekend, so please.
I do. I am super excited to say that anyone who's listening to this call or the replay can email me and say, I heard you with Timeless Event. I'm like, with Ashley. I'm like, what's Ashley's business name? Timeless Events. Yes. Ashley, what's your event? Timeless Dream Events. Thank you. I heard you online. I heard you with Ashley and Miriam. Any one of those. And I'd love to come to your workshop. It's Sunday the 18th from 3 to 5:30. Anyone who emails me at write.now, sjefferis2@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram. You can just Instagram me and say, I saw you on the talk. You can come to the workshop for 10% off the price. It's 2.5 hours of reflective writing, plus when you're done with the workshop, you get to pick one thing and send it to me, and then I will give you editorial feedback on one page. Wow. So it's a workshop time plus special one-to-one, because the workshop is really creative, and the workshop is really about stretching our bodies and stretching our minds. But I also want to say, I love editing. And so when you sign up for a workshop with me, you get 1 page of editing as well. And again, you can find me on Instagram or on Gmail. And it's 10% off of $125. So I would be more than happy to spend Sunday afternoon with you. And I have a few spots left.
That's great.
Thank you.
Don't miss it.
No, thank you.
What's the date?
Oh, Sunday the 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you just have to let me know, because I'll send you a Zoom link.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ashley. Miriam. This has been amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have any final, Miriam, did you have any final words you'd like to?
I'm so into Sarah's workshop.
I know. So I'll post her links. I'll post her links. Yeah.
People can find me via my website, miriambaldewijn.com. I'm on Facebook, Miriam Baldewijn, Instagram, Miriam Baldewijn. Together with Ashley, we are on Clubhouse, Miriam Baldewijn, LinkedIn, Miriam Baldewijn, and Caregiver 2.0, a 6-week live online program. Email me, support@miriambaldewijn.com. It's time to own your well-being, and you are not alone.
Love that. And I always love to go after my sister from another mister, because I always say, when you've gone through her Caregiver 2.0, you can come to me at Timeless Dream events and we'll throw the hottest party ever.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah. Timeless Dream event.
I appreciate you all tuning in, liking, loving, sharing, all of it, all the things. Miriam and I appreciate you joining us with Sarah. Sarah, this was incredible.
Thank you so much.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Miriam too, because had Miriam not mentioned your name to me, Sarah, I don't think this would have been. I never believed that I could write a book. And here today, I will be dropping my pre-order for my book that Dr. Sarah has helped me edit and bring my reflections from my head to a pen, to paper, and finally a book. It is called Lost, Travel, Found. And for anybody that has followed my journey thus far, I thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm so excited for this book launch. It is a love story to my dad and my husband and myself. How I grew to not only love those men, but me, but Ashley. And please follow Timeless Dream events on Facebook, on Instagram. It's the link to become part of the book launch team and pre-order the book is going to go live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So in about 10 minutes, go there, join the team. At the very least, just join the team. I want hype people to help me get this book into the atmosphere. And just for the people that are in the Caring for the Caregiver Facebook group, you guys have been awesome as well. Thank you for tuning in. I created this space for you guys because we deal with enough negativity. Miriam and I are trying to bring positivity, and we love you. We support you. Please find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse. I'll post all of our links. Dr. Sarah, she's offered the 10% off discount for her workshop on Sunday. I can't highly recommend her anymore. She brought the writer out of me. Okay.
So
I can't recommend her anymore. We laugh, we cry. I've had to get up from my seat a couple times because I almost passed out. Like all things. Okay. Y'all already know I'm dramatic. So I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah. Be on the lookout for Lost Travel Found. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with us. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this now. Peace and blessings to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.